Recently, we've been talking about God's kingdom, how he had John the Baptist and Jesus announce its coming, and how Jesus then starts his ministry talking about who'll be able to get in. In our last episode, we examined how most of the time when Jesus spoke to the crowds, he used stories or illustrations called parables, and then why he chose to explain the kingdom of God that way. Matthew records a number of these parables in his gospel, like this one in chapter 13, starting in verse 24. The kingdom of heaven is like a farmer who planted good seed in his field. But that night, as the workers slept, his enemy came and planted weeds among the wheat, then slipped away. When the crops began to grow and produce grain, the weeds also grew. The farmer's workers went to him and said, "Sir, the field where you planted that good seed is full of weeds. Where did they come from?" "An enemy has done this," the farmer explained. "Should we pull out the weeds?" they asked. "No," he replied. "You'll uproot the wheat if you do. Let both grow together until the harvest. Then I will tell the harvesters to sort out the weeds, tie them into bundles, and burn them, and to put the wheat in the barn." Now, that's an interesting story about the kingdom of God, huh? If you're a little confused, you're not alone. Jesus' disciples were too. So he offers an explanation to both them and us. But only after two more parables talking about this kingdom and how it starts off like a small seed, then grows into a huge plant. Or how it's like yeast when making bread. You only need a little bit to make all the dough rise. Now for that explanation. Then leaving the crowds outside, Jesus went into the house. His disciples said, "Please explain to us the story of the weeds in the field." Jesus replied, "The Son of Man is the farmer who plants the good seed. The field is the world, and the good seed represents the people of the kingdom. The weeds are the people who belong to the evil one. The enemy who planted the weeds among the wheat is the devil. The harvest is the end of the world, and the harvesters are the angels. Just as the weeds are sorted out and burned in the fire, so it will be at the end of the world. The Son of Man will send his angels, and they'll remove from his kingdom everything that causes sin and all who do evil. And the angels will throw them into the fiery furnace, where there'll be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Then the righteous will shine like the sun in their Father's kingdom. Anyone with ears to hear should listen and understand." So God is aware of just what's going on, but he's choosing to wait to deal with the issues. Now, to be honest, that's not an easy pill for me to swallow. How about for you? Do you want God to act right now? Or are you okay with him waiting? Why is that? Join us again next time for another Manna in a Minute.